Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Of course, this week exam 2 is due. So exam 2 is going to open on the 10th. Actually, I'm going to open it today on the 9th, and it's going to be due on the 17th. So you have some extended time to get this done. This study guide is really going to help you understand, of course, what to dig into in your book and what to understand to make sure you get a good grade. It's going to be 40 total questions, 100 points. A lot of multiple choice in here. And the thing that I want you to do when you do this study guide, just make sure you write down the terms that I mentioned so you can go back in the textbook and remember those terms. Because some of them are pretty complicated, but the majority of them you're going to have an awareness of because, of course, we've talked about all of them, and I think you're going to do quite well. From that perspective, this exam is going to have lockdown browser, so you have to download that just like exam 1. And if you run into any issues, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to help in any way I can. So let's go over these terms, and I think they're going to be helpful. It's not going to take too long, but make sure you write these down because I can go pretty fast. But you can pause the video, which is helpful, and make sure you have time to research and get your information. All right, so dig into your textbook. It's going to be from the chapters that we've studied so far, so that's where you're going to find this information. Know about negligence. What is negligence? Respondeat superior is another term you need to know. What are Good Samaritan laws? Good Samaritan laws. Know about medical records. What are medical records and what are they used for? What is OSHA? Occupational Safety and Health Administration. What is OSHA? What do they do? Know about evidence, right? What is evidence used for in a case? Know about probable cause. All right. Know about the medical record. Who legally owns a medical record in an office? So when we talk about an office, right, office can be owned by an entity or sometimes a physician. And the question that's in the test, it's going to be talking about a physician-owned office. So that should probably be fixed a little bit. But now that you have that, I don't have to edit it. But it's a physician-owned office. Talked about OSHA, right? What is the EEOC? Equal employment. What is that? What about malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance? What are those three things? Talked a little bit about the medical record. Make sure you have an awareness of that because there's a couple of questions on the medical record. Know what a defendant is in a case. What is a defendant? Talked a little bit about autonomy. What is autonomy and what does that help with? All right. Know about privileged communication. What is privileged communication when you think about HIPAA, right? HIPAA and privileged communication. Lots of medical record questions, right? Because it's been a hot topic for us. All right, know what neglect of duty is? Neglect of duty. How about the Pregnancy Discrimination Act of 1978, right? What about the ADA? What is the ADA Act of 1990? What does that do? Talked a little bit about negligence. What is negligence? Lots of questions about, of course, I've said it 14 times, the medical record. What is COBRA? What does COBRA help with? COBRA. Make sure you know about COBRA. Know the difference between federal laws and state laws. Federal and state laws. Beneficence. What is beneficence as a term? What does that mean? Know about damages. What is damages in a case? Who pays damages? That sort of stuff. Talked a little bit about the standard of care. Know what the standard of care is. JCAHO. What is JCAHO required to do? What is JCAHO's requirement? What do they exist for? What about the borrowed servant doctrine? That might be a little confusing because it's a little confusing terminology-wise. Know what the borrowed servant doctrine is. How about the Privacy Act of 1974? What is the Privacy Act of 1974? All right. Making sure I don't miss anything for you guys. Only a few more questions here. Lots of medical record questions. I've said it probably 20 times, so if you don't study that, after saying it 20 times, I'm not sure how much where I can prep you there. Informed consent. Know what an informed consent is? What about the Age Discrimination Act? Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967. Know what that is? All right. You have a couple of situational questions, so those are going to be fun. A lot of them are going to have to do with misfeasance, malfeasance, and nonfeasance, right? Know what an agent is. What is an agent in regards to durable power of attorney? What is an agent? All right. Title VII. Know about Title VII in the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And then you have two essay questions, which I failed to mention at the beginning of this. Two essay questions. They're fairly easy, but make sure you write at least 3 sentences in your essay questions. And I'm not going to give you a prep on that because you're going to know what those are and you're going to do quite well. So that's it. That's the study guide for Exam 2. It's going to be open as of today, and it's going to be due on the 17th. So be sure to take your time in completing it, and if you have any questions, if there's any issues, don't hesitate to reach out. Lockdown browser is required again, so if there's any complications with that, just send me an email. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you with your exam. I'm looking forward to some great grades.